Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, one of the things, and I have Linda with me today, and Linda, you know, this probably this isn't something we've really talked about before, but I wanted to bring this out to people. You know, I've been thinking of, what fishing really means to me, and what is in the fishing experience that matters the most to me. And this weekend we were watching videos from some of the fishing shows, and one of the things that was bugging me, I didn't mention it to you at the time, is I see them hauling in one big fish after another, and I thought of all the years that I did my TV fishing show, and this is something I thought that I had to show. But it's not what I want to see. What I want to see right now is, how did that fish get on their line? What did they do to make that fish hit? And that's where the story becomes to me. And I want to, if people were to ask me, what is your most favorite part of the fishing experience? And I would answer this a couple ways. First of all, it's just being there. That you've watched me.
I
You've
have.
watched the transformation that takes place in my being.
In your soul, Don.
Yeah.
In your soul.
But of the experience itself, of actually catching that fish, the highlight is when that fish strikes. That's the crescendo of the experience for me. It isn't hauling that fish in. It isn't holding it up.
No.
It's the detection of that moment when the fish strikes, and now we're engaged in this process together.
You're almost like a sleuth. You're trying to discover, where do those fish lie, and how can I attract them so that they will strike what I have thrown into the water.
Feeling that strike or seeing it, that's what it's all about to me. And then the battle of bringing it in, that's never been something. I've watched people go out in deep sea boats or on the Great Lakes, and they've hired a guide, and the boat is moving along at a certain speed, and they're trolling along, and quite often the captain of the boat or the mate there'll be a strike, that the rod's sitting in a rod holder, there'll be a strike, and they'll pick the rod up and set the hook, if in fact the boat doesn't set the hook, and then they hand the rod to who's ever in the boat, and they reel the fish in. And the whole process of reeling it in, that isn't the high point for me.
No, it isn't the high point for you.
It's feeling what happens when that fish decides, okay, you've tricked me, and now I'm on, and it's feeling that strike. That's everything to me. It really is.
But
to a lot of people, it isn't. It's
Yeah.
So I don't want to ever assume that what makes it thrilling for me is going to affect other people the same way.
No.
Everybody's different. Everybody takes their joy in life from different experiences and different inputs.
Yes, but I will tell your listeners that when I've had the good fortune to, from the shoreline, I'm watching you as you wade out, and invariably you'll cast maybe once, but then by the second cast, you immediately get something, because you have studied the water, you've studied the current, you've looked at the right place to throw that lure, and then it's on. The battle is on, and it's so much fun to watch from the shore. I don't need to be fishing. I just love to watch you have the greatest experience out there in the water.
I guess that's what parents think when they see their kids having a ball. Oh boy.
Well, it's if it's something that I can report, it is that when you return from a fishing trip, your face is aglow and you are so happy because you've had a great day out on the water, enjoying that which you love the most. So that's wonderful for me.
Well, one of the whole reasons that I do these radio spots, and I've done it for years, is my goal is to try to introduce to other people something that can bring perhaps that kind of joy that you see in me
Sure.
into their world.
Absolutely.
You know, it's this is, there's so much more to the experience than people might realize. I can go all day long, and I never tire of what's happening.
No, and your casting is constant. Once you're out on the water, whether you're in a canoe or you're wading, your casting is constant. You're constantly throwing the lure, testing it, making sure that you're getting it in the right place. And if it doesn't work after a while, you change the lure, but you're so in communion with what you're doing that it's fascinating to watch.
Well, I think for each person in the world, there's something, fishing has been the big thing for me. And I used to imagine when I was a kid, I'm thinking, how can somebody else not get this great joy that I do? But there was hardly any kids back when I was growing up that were going out fishing, and I always thought that maybe I was,
Different?
yeah, something. But, I want people to be happy. That's the reason we do everything we do.
Yes.
Is try to bring that happiness to other people. When we do a tournament, and when you and I go down there, the joy is when we see somebody come up on that stage that's had a great day and can say that this is an important part of their life.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Until next time, folks, this is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report.